It's only the preseason. Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And it is time to react to the Bears' second preseason game, which they ended up falling to the Indianapolis Colts 24-17 on the road after a week of joint practice. And it is time to discuss the things that I've seen in this game, things I like, things I don't like. And the score is somewhat irrelevant. It's this preseason football. And my personal focus is to really think that how the team looks versus score or anything. Of course, we want to win, but I mean, it's preseason, so it's preseason. But before I get into this game, make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow. And if you're a first-time viewer and you enjoy this type of content, make sure you click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But it is time to dive into this Bears contest. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Now, it's time for me to touch on a couple of things that really stood out from this game. And the thing that is starting to stand out for me the most is the quarterback 2 situation, whether it's PJ Walker or Tyson Bagent. And oddly enough, I think the odds right now, as far as how things have looked, not only just tonight, but in this preseason, it will go to Tyson Bagent, and this is why. I said that in the first game, and I saw it more tonight. PJ Walker has just not been accurate with the football. He's missed some throws, he's missed some reads, and you could say the difference of the offense when Tyson Bagent got in versus when PJ Walker was in was that the Bears were starting to move the football more. They were getting more things done throughout the air, as PJ Walker went 1 for 4 with 6 yards, and Tyson Bagent went 9 for 10 for 76 yards, and he had a rushing TD of his own. So when you look at some of the things that have stood out for me, not just tonight, but throughout this preseason, is like I said, PJ Walker has just been inaccurate in both games. Tyson Bagent has stepped in and made some really good throws. Deceptively athletic. You've seen it on a couple of rollouts. You've seen it on a touchdown run. He can move a little bit with his legs. Even though PJ Walker, I think he's more athletic. It's just the fact that when you talk about accuracy and throwing the football around and spreading the football around to your weapons, PJ Walker just has not been accurate throughout the first 2 preseason games, and Bagent has. And I was a little bit shocked that Nathan Peterman was relegated to the 3rd string for this game. That really shows what Tyson Bagent has really brought throughout camp. Throughout these first 2 preseason games, he was the quarterback 2 for this ball game, and of course, we had all the starters sitting out. So you didn't see Justin Fields, you ain't gonna see Moore, Claypool, none of those guys. You didn't see none of them tonight. They sat all of them out, and you really got to see the backups and 3rd string guys work when, of course, of this offense and defense. And another thing that really stands out to me, Roschon Johnson can elevate himself. I think he's elevated himself to be a really key role in this running back rotation. Foreman, of course, he had some run early on in the ball game. Roschon Johnson throughout these first 2 preseason games has really stunned out for me as far as his physicality. He has this really solid speed, and he's a very smart runner. You saw him on a couple of cutbacks, especially on a toss play where the toss was low and it looked like he can get nothing. He came on his feet, had the cutback lane, and turned something positive out of that play. So I'm really liking what I've seen from Roschon Johnson. And Doris Fountain, he's been making a case for himself on this roster with the things he's been able to do throughout the receiving game. And some of the catches that he's made throughout this preseason, he has been a really good weapon as far as the first 2 preseason games go for the Chicago Bears. Now, the sacks, we go from 8 sacks last week as a defensive unit. We only had 1 today. We only had 1 sack. Now, of course, the pressure was there. They were still getting after the quarterback, but as far as getting home, it was only 1 sack versus 8 that we had last week. And speaking as the Bears on the defensive side of the ball, there are 2 players that have really stood out to me this preseason and tonight. Terrell Lewis and Travis Gibson is really making their case to be pieces and the edge. You have Yannick Ngakoue and DeMarcus Walker already there. So Terrell Lewis is making a case to be a guy, and Travis Gibson, which I really like to see. Now, of course, a guy is preseason, but the things that they are doing now, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Tyreek Stevenson, I'm becoming a fan of him and his physicality, even though he had the penalty and delay hit out of bounds and the tackle kicking Drake out of bounds. But I'm really starting to like some of the things that he's been able to do throughout the course of this preseason. Now, you didn't see a lot of those guys in the running, but some of the things I did not like was the Bears defense did not really keep their foot on the pedal, especially in the fourth quarter, which let the Indianapolis Colts and Sam Ehlinger have some long drives to come back and win this ball game. But like I said earlier, the wins and losses are not the greatest thing to me. This is how the team looks. And it was a reverse in contrast from later in the game last week to later in the game this week as far as the Bears defense goes. They pitched a shutout last week and you get 17 fourth quarter points this week. Two drastically different things as far as the Bears defense goes. Now, some positives from the entire game that I take away. Like I said earlier, Roschon Johnson, I really like what he's been able to do. The quarterback 2 battle, if I had the choice now, I would pick Tyson Bagent over P.J. Walker, even though P.J. Walker has more experience. The inaccuracy is just something that I've been noticing, and it just hasn't been there throughout the first 2 preseason games. And I just love the way that this team is coached. I love the way that they fight. I just love the physicality of this football team. They didn't pull out the win tonight. They let some plays up late to Ehlinger and their Colts offense, and they had a turnover on their own with the fumble by Burns. They ended up giving it up late. But I just like the dynamics of this Bears football team. Of course, they didn't come away with the win, but at the end of the day, when you look at these preseason games, you look at some of the things that can help this team, not just in preseason, but in the future, you can see some talent. You can see some guys that can make the roster. You see guys that are really playing and really showing out. I really love what I see from the way that this Bears coaching staff really coaches this team. It's just unfortunately they fall late, but it's just a preseason, so you can't be too mad about it. But that's just all I had to say about this game. Make sure you guys leave this video a like. Comment your thoughts on the game down below. I would like to see what you guys seen. And as always, click the sub button and notification bell. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next Sunday. Now we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.